Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Handy Mandy TV. And this week we're going to be doing a little lesson on some permutations of the square knots, which is a kind of macrame. Last week, or a couple weeks ago, I did this one. Did I do it last week? I think I did it last week. Anyways, this is using soutache and some hex nuts. And this is beading it through the center, so if you watch that video, I put the link below along to all the other do-it-yourself jewelries. So that's putting it through the center. Now, I've also done some that are micro-macrame, and I'll show you a close-up in a minute, because they are quite small. So what you're going to need is choose your string. So for micro-macrame, I'm using this huge thing, and it's by Southmade. It's a crochet thread, size 10. Micro, 10 is a good size. If you go to 13, because I got these at Walmart, that's really, really small. I would suggest going for 10. They do have ones that are smaller, or larger. So the larger you go, the higher the number, the bigger the string is, the lower the number. So I think they had one that was a 3 or a 5 or something, but they didn't have a lot of colors, and this, they also had it in bamboo, which is really nice, but again, not a lot of colors, so it's up to you. If you're not doing micro macrame, you can just use like soutache or accordion, get a fabric store, or suede. A really, really good deal. I found Fabricland was okay, which is in Canada, Ontario, and Michael's craft store, they have it really expensive. It was like $10 for 7.3 meters, whereas over at Walmart you can get 12.2 meters for $4.50. So considerably better deal. You can also use, this is cotton twill. This is smaller than the average cotton twill that they usually use in some of these like tutorials that I've seen on Pinterest and whatnot. So but this is a really good deal. So this is $2 and it comes with its own blade from the Dollarama store. If you're using beading, which is what I've done a couple times, you can get them at Dollarama, which is the crafts brand, or right now Fabricland. I know at least at this location in Chatham, they are getting rid of a lot of their stock. So you buy one, you get 2 free. So if this is for $5.98, you're getting 3 for the price of 1. That's like $1.50, $2 for one of them, which is really good because they're a lot better quality than the craft ones, and you get to choose a lot larger variety. At the dollar store, they've run out, and it's been out for like the last 6 to 8 months, and I haven't seen any beads, at least not in these containers. So the selection is fuller, at least until they get rid of their stock, and they've had the sale on for a month. Now, if you're using beading, and depending on whether or not your thread is small and your beads are small, you may need a needle. The only thing is, the head of the needle where the hole is to put your thread may be too large to put your bead on, so test it first. And you might want to consider using a needle threader to thread that. You're going to need a measuring tape. So a standard woman's bracelet is 7 inches, a man's is 8, and we're actually going to minus that by 1 because I'm going to show you how to make it adjustable. So that's where your measuring tape comes in, because the rulers are only so long. The regular rulers are only like 12 inches. A Design Studio one is like 18, which is good, but 12 is short. And if you're doing it like to wrap around several times, that's why you need the measuring tape. You're also going to need a clipboard. I've started one already. And I don't have one of those little black clips, but I'm going to use a paper clip. You're going to need scissors. And if you're using beads, I would suggest getting some kind of lid or something. These are from the dollar store. They come in a pack of 3, which is really nice because you can use the top. You can put your beads in there. And because it's above your workspace, you're not likely to hit it, because what happens is your beads, when you go down, you start moving it around. If you're just on the table, it's all loose, it's not controlled. So I find this works really well. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so here's the bracelet that I had before, and now I'm using square knots and I'm beading on the outside. So for this one, which I've already done, I beaded on the inside. So I put the beads and I strung them up to the center, and I did so I did 2 sets of square knots in between for spacing. You can see the difference. These ones are larger and they're beaded on the outside. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. So I started off my bracelet with 2 square knots. I'm putting my bead through, left over right, putting my right over the edge, lifting it up, pulling in behind, through the back, and there's my first half of a square knot. Right over the center, left over the edge, bring those beads down, through the back, behind the center and through the back. Sorry, my wording is all getting mixed up. So there's one side. So I put beads on 20 at a time on both sides. So now I'm going to take from the right side, bring it up, and do another square knot. Make everything nice and tight, and you just keep going, alternating between the 2 sides. Now, what's great about this is I've got my beads already on here, and I've just tied the end. So then I don't have a bead stopper, so this is how I'm keeping my beads on my string, and I can just put it up as I'm going, and I'll have to keep beading in between each knot. So they're already put on the string, and I just have to put it up as I need it. So I'm going to take this off and get everything set up for the other one that I want to show you, which I'm going to use the cotton twine. So I set up the length from the tip of my fingers past my elbow. So there's 2 strings, and now I've got 1 string that's twice this length, and then there's a second one. So there's 2 strings that are twice the length of the first ones. And I'm going to take them at the end. I'm going to put it from the tip of my fingers to my wrist, just maybe a little bit less. So right here in the middle of my palm, where my joint of my thumb reaches my hand, I'm going to put a knot right there. Put that in my clipboard. So this is actually shorter than my clipboard, so I'm actually going to go and get some tape so this doesn't move. Alright, so I have my piece of tape. Make sure that this is straight. I'm playing this by ear because I'm pretty sure this might be the version that we're doing is only the first half of a square knot. So for a woman, it's 7 inches, and for a man, it's 8 inches. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to take an inch off, because that's going to be part of our adjustable, the wrist. So I'm actually going to make this 6 inches, and it's going to end about here. Alright, so you got your 2 center strings as kind of fillers, and you got your 2 strings on the outside. So you're going to take your left, cross it over. Your right goes over top. You go behind the center and through the back of the left loop. Bring it all the way to the top and tighten. And what we're actually going to do is just keep repeating that until we get all the way down. Now as you can notice, it starts to twist. We want to make sure that this is still the same string that we're using for our left. So I'm going to actually take the end and go like this on one end. So I always make sure this is the one I'm crossing over. Alright, so as you can see, it's twisted all the way around. And this is how it lays flat. So I'm actually twisting it back normally just to tighten it. Because if I try to do it from the back, then I have to, you know, do some weird orientation with my fingers. So I'm actually going to take them together. Alright, so here's your reference. You're going to pull it to the front, the one you just tied, and as soon as it hits naturally all the way reverse, like a 180 degrees, this is still on your left, so you're actually going to take them together. I'll go around once, and then you're going to continue, so that way you're not twisting your string every time you're tying it. Now that I'm done, I'm going to knot this into my tape. And knot this at the end. Alright, so take your two strands and put the knot as close to the edge or the end as possible. A little bit of excess. So if you go right to the end, then it's likely to come undone. Pull it really tight. And I'm going to do full square knots. We did half knots on here, and we always kept overlapping the left. Now we're also going to overlap the right. Left first. Take your time because there's a lot of strings involved. Don't want to get anything tangled by going too fast. don't put it too tight, because you still want to be able to make it wants to be, you're making this to be adjustable. So we're going to be putting 4 square knots. Alright, so I found a needle that was big enough. And what I'm going to do is thread it right back up through here. Halfway. Cut it, and then do it for the same other side, and try to go to the back. Well, whichever side. So I think because I did one side on this side, I'm going to do it on the other, just in case it's too close together. So there it is. There's the adjustable bracelet. See y'all next week. Hey, so we're all finished, and this is what it looks like. And there's the adjustable closure on the back. So I'll see y'all next week. Bye. Oh, and if you have any requests, please feel free to put them below, or links to your Pinterest or anything like that that you guys want to show me and you want me to do in an episode. I would love to hear from all of you guys.